Hi, welcome back to Toadstool Tarot. Today I have a deck I ordered from France. It's a Marseille style deck. It's actually a Swiss deck, tarot from Francois Gassmann, 1840, master card maker in Geneva, Switzerland. Comes in a really fantastic, sturdy two-part box. I mean, this is so hefty, it's almost like a wooden box. It's really thick, firm, sturdy cardboard. This is probably the best box of any tarot deck in my whole collection. Really tough, rough and tough. Now, the deck has no little white book. It did come with a kind of a handwritten thank you note on a card from a different deck. And it's a limited edition. These are numbered. This is limited to 1,500. This is number 293 out of 1,500, signed by the card maker. And these were done in, well, it just says 2020, but I think I saw in another walkthrough that he had just done these a couple months ago in June maybe, or May. They're by Yves Reynaud. It says made in PRC. Is that the People's Republic of China? I'm not really sure. It has two cards, one in French, one in English. Both have the numbering on them. And a little bit of an explanation about Gassmann. I won't read it. I did want to indicate that these cards come with sharp corners, and I'm not one for sharp corners, but you can see, there's the back design. You can see the way the cards come. I used my corner rounder, and so that's the result. I'm much happier with them. Initially, I wasn't sure how I felt about the cardstock. They're nice and stiff, perhaps a little stiffer than I generally like, and they have a matte, almost matte feel to them, not really laminated, slightly laminated, I guess. The fronts feel slicker than the backs. No, I take that back. It's just on these cards, it's a little rough on the back. The cards in the deck actually feel pretty nice. Initially, I thought they looked a little less than slick, a little less than mass manufactured, sort of like homemade, home printed cards or something. But I don't know, I've kind of gotten past that. The coloring also, initially I wasn't sure about. There are some greens in the deck that are not my favorite green. Little on the pale side. But I'll tell you, one of the things that won me over in this deck are these huge eyes and the expressions on the cards. And the more Marseille-style decks that I collect, the more I'm intrigued by the variations in the representations, particularly in facial features, more so than gestures. The gestures are fairly standard. But these all have a kind of a certain attitude. There's a lot of side-eye in this deck. I like this Emperor. He has a sort of a flamboyant wand there, or scepter, and it looks like he's got a broken nose. Bit of a fighter type, I guess. The Pope looks like he's got bags under his eyes, like he hadn't got much sleep. The images are kind of amusing. It's a very sweet Cupid. Some blue horses. Yeah, this isn't my favorite color palette in a deck. You've got some blues here that are really dark blues. You almost can't make out the line work in the through the shading in these navy blues. There were a couple of cards in the deck that sort of won me over. One of them is the Fool, and the other's the Ace of Cups. They're rather different than other decks. Here is the Force card, or Strength card. I like her expression. She's got beautiful eyes. And here's the Hanged Man. I really like the gallows there are different, almost circus-like, all those colors and stripes, very festive. Even his wardrobe, he looks almost more like Houdini in escape mode than the usual Hanged Man. Both legs are hitched up. And he's got sort of side profile and looking down at the ground. Yeah. So yeah, a different, interesting Hanged Man. It's funny, unless I'm seeing it wrong, it looks like the grass and elements on the ground are yellow. They don't look yellow in my light here. They look more of a pink. But I've got crummy light, so I don't know. I might be seeing them wrong. There's a Temperance card. Again, she's got really beautiful eyes. Interesting facial expression. The devil's a little different than we're used to. Sort of a furry devil and not particularly scary. I think the little one sort of reaching for his thigh is more of a scary devil than the silly one on the perch there. Tower. A bit of a goony looking Star Maiden. There's a blue baby in the Judgment card. And we've got a cross-eyed lion in the corner of the World card. So I like that comedy. Almost looks like he's wearing audio headphones instead of a halo. Ace of Wands. You can see that the drawings are a little bit crude. Sometimes I wonder at the original artwork in these old ones whether the artists were perhaps less than most skilled, or whether these were drawn in great haste, or perhaps just quickly copied from better done, more expensive versions of the decks by apprentices or less skilled artisans. Not really sure. It's funny, the quality that these cards had when they had sharp corners didn't feel somehow as workable to me as the corner rounder helps them to be. And that's all in my head, I guess, but now that the corners are rounded, they feel much more like official cards. And I love using a corner rounder. I wouldn't mind if all my decks came sharp, that I had to round the corners. It's a fun activity. It's kind of like clipping the tip off of a cigar, a good fine cigar. I don't smoke cigars, I think they're nasty, but I've seen guys use a little tool to take the tip off their cigar. It's a nice 10 of wands. Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen blues as dark as the blues in this deck. Oh, it's a nice blue horse. So you've got a pale blue and a very dark blue. And then you've got a sort of an orangey red and a yellow and a green. Excuse me. Very nice Ace of Swords. And these have black, not dark blue, in case you were wondering, on the swords. Not really certain. Let me just double check quick if I can find out. Other than it being Swiss, if there's a distinction as to why this is not called or considered a Marseille deck. The type is the Besancon. With its shape of ciboire, I don't know what ciboire is, topped with moldings and framed by two curtains. Oh. I think they're talking about a certain card. Oh, the Chariot, maybe. Well, I'll let you do your own research. I'll just give you a little bit of a quick run through of these cards and the images. There are a few other people that have done walkthroughs of this deck, so you might want to see what they have to say about it. Big eyes again. I love the big eyes, the big faces. Here's a knight with a beauty mark. And we have the Ace of Pentacles, or I should say coins. I think in Marseille style decks they're referred to as coins. They don't have stars on the discs. Wasn't sure what that R stands for. I thought maybe Renault, but it's not identified as Renault on here. It says Gassmann. So I don't know what that R means. A lot of these antique repro decks have black and white backs. So these are interesting, I think, that they've got this lovely blue pattern. And the decks that I've been collecting lately in the Marseille style are different colorings than traditional. This is closer to a traditional primary colors. Boy, she's got a lot of attitude, huh? Look at that expression. Huge eye. Okay, besides the Hanged Man, this was the other card that I really loved. This representation of the Ace of Cups. I love these bulbous, like Jello mold type cups. Like a big overblown cake or something. Bloated. And even the smaller cups have that sort of rounded, well, they don't even quite look like they're open cups. The openings look more like covers than openings. I'm getting used to the coloring of this the more I handle it. First I wasn't sure. Well, there's no green in this suit. The green's a little bit off-putting for my taste, but you know, everybody finds different things in decks that appeal to them. The Valet du Coupe, Page of Cups. Their cups are all covered. And the King. So do you have this, the Tarot Francois Gassmann, 1840? And if you do, what do you think of it? Or is it something you might want to get? I'm trying to remember how much I paid. I want to say like around $40 or something. I'm not sure. It wasn't real cheap, but it wasn't that expensive either. It's doable. Took a little while to get here, a month or maybe a month and a half, something like that. I think you got a while still. I'm only on 200 and it's limited to 1500. So I mean, this is what did I say? 293, almost 300. But, you know, don't wait too long. Some of these limited edition ones go and then they're gone. See you next time.